moving on. We were just talking about semaglutide and Ozempic, and you mentioned your joints.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is so crazy. You know, we've done a million segments on Ozempic. Fortunately, the majority of them have been good, I think, good. And mostly we do segments about research, new research coming out. Almost all of them have been good. Now we have one more that's directly related to what you said. This is a segment on a new study out showing that semaglutide actually reverses arthritis. And when I saw this, I was skeptical. It's like, it's almost like they're saying semaglutide is a miracle drug, that we need to put it in the water or something. Because, I'm almost ready to find a research paper that says something bad about semaglutide, because they've all been good. And I've always said I like semaglutide because of the health benefits. And I guess, if I'm being honest, this is just another one that's going to reinforce that. So I always like to show the research papers that we talk about. So Brenna, next picture, if you please. This is the research article. You can easily look this up. It says semaglutide ameliorates osteoarthritis progression through a weight loss independent metabolic restoration mechanism. I really feel like the researchers need a bit of a branding coach like that. Yeah. I'm in the biz of looking at research papers, and my brain kind of shut off after about the third or fourth word. But if I really forced myself to look at this title, there is one very important string of words in there that really is kind of the big part to me, is weight loss independent. Those words to me are very, very important, because when I first saw the article saying that, Ozempic makes your joints better, well, duh. If you're heavy, that's bad on your joints.
Yep.
And if you lose weight, that's better for your joints. So I was thinking, okay, this is the dumbest thing ever. Of course, if you lose weight, your joints are going to be better. But those key words, weight loss independence, are the big ones, because basically that article is saying that it's not just the weight loss, that Ozempic is actually causing improvements to the joints outside of just reducing the strain. And if true, that's pretty huge. So studies started with mice, as they often do. I don't know why are mice what people are testing.
There's a lot of them.
Always.
I guess maybe that's a good choice. You'd feel bad if it was a dog.
What about birds?
Well, how do you do it on a robot, right? You studies on robots. People that are seeing this segment and don't know what we're talking about.
Like, watch the last episode.
Is this guy crazy?
Last Friday.
Is he crazy? Yeah. So mice. So they started with mice. They put them on semaglutide. They basically had one group. So they had two groups of mice. One was on semaglutide that lost a set amount of weight. But then they had a second group of mice that was not on semaglutide, that they had lost the same amount of weight by doing exercise. Okay, so basically I want to break this down. I want you guys to understand this, because it gets muddy, and I want people to understand. You got two groups of mice. One's on semaglutide and loses X amount of weight. The other is not on semaglutide but loses X amount of weight by, I guess they were forcing them on a treadmill.
I was like, are they like a hamster wheel, or what are we doing here?
I guess so. It's like, run on this wheel or you get zipped off into the abyss. So this is a good study, though, because they, just like we said, we don't want to just be about losing weight. We want to see the semaglutide actually improve joints, and this is a good way to test it, because you have two mice and they both lost the weight, but one's on semaglutide, and then they looked at things like joint pain and the quality of health of the joint, and then in my brain I was like, right, I was like, how do they know the pain level
of the mice? Yeah, that's a really good question. I didn't even think
I'd have
of
to
that.
get the actual full
know.
study. I probably should look into that, because now I bring it up and I look dumb because I didn't look it up. But in my mind, I was like, how did they do that?
Yeah,
okay, but the end result was that the mice on semaglutide that lost the same amount of weight as the mice in the other group did have decreased pain and improved joint function, which does make one believe that the semaglutide is actually improving the joints, making them better. So how would that work? Now we're getting into boring biochemistry. Try not to put myself to sleep when I talk about this, and I'll do my best not to put you guys to sleep. So semaglutide actually improves and alters chondrocytes, which is a word I was like, yeah, I know what that is. Like, I went to med school. So chondrocytes build cartilage.
I learned about that in biology, I think.
Yeah, so it sounds familiar, right? These are cells that produce cartilage, And what semaglutide does is it activates a pathway which makes these enormously more efficient. I think it was 28 times more efficient at doing their job of building cartilage. Okay, so that could make your joints better. Okay, it also
could make them not better. Isn't cartilage bad sometimes? When cartilage goes away and the bone on bone.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, cartilage is
I'm
good.
back.
Yeah,
I'm back.
I was trying to remember.
I had to go there.
Is there like a too much cartilage thing? I don't think that exists.
I went the wrong way.
Now you might say, because I know you guys, you've been hearing me drone on about research papers all the time. It's in mice. So what? Mice don't correlate with humans. Oh yes, you are correct. However, once the researchers got the mice data, then they went on to humans in the same study before they released it. So it was 20 humans randomized into 2 groups, one with semaglutide, one that was not. They had them on 24 weeks. Now, in the semaglutide group, they had decreased pain and increased function, but they went one step further. They got MRIs of the joints to look and see what was going on, and the MRIs in the group that were on semaglutide had thicker cartilage and evidence of recent cartilage growth. So this research seems pretty legit. I mean, the biggest thing that you can say about it is that it's a small study, which is 100% true, but you have research and results in mice that show one thing, and then you have research in humans that says the same thing, and that is a big deal. Of course, this doesn't necessarily mean that Ozempic has cured osteoarthritis, but if it did, it would be huge. 600 million humans in the world suffer from osteoarthritis, okay, number one, and that number is expected to go up to closer to 1 billion by sometime in the 2030s. This causes people a lot of pain, a lot of lost work, disability. I mean, osteoarthritis is the real deal. Like, this is one of those things that no one talks about that actually is a big problem. And now we have actually some pretty legitimate data that says that semaglutide might reverse it.
So I actually, for the last several years, work with Plain Orthopedic and Sports Medicine.
Yeah.
Do their social media. I know a lot more about
Are they talking about this?
Yeah, so I actually just put together a post a couple weeks ago about tips, because yes, it is good for your joints, but at the same time, you have to support your joints. So just completely not working out or not building muscle is not a good idea.
Yeah, that's the big thing they say about semaglutide.
Making sure that you're doing some type of muscle work along with this is going to be big. And there's some other ones. You can go onto their, I just did this a few weeks ago.
Very interesting. Well, you should have done this segment, not me.
And then also, one of the big things that some of the surgeons pointed out to me was, hey, make sure if you are on that and you do have to go have surgery with an orthopedic surgeon, you need to tell them you're on it, because you have to be off of it for a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
of course, you know that.
But, yeah, that's a big one.
But yeah, I mean, it's all, I mean, my inflammation is like, because I know I have like some kind of carpal tunnel or something from my, push-ups and, my tennis and all of that.
Sure, tennis will do it, sure.
So it was so bad that I was asking doctors, like, is something wrong with my kidneys? Like, is something wrong with, any of my, because like my hands would swell up. And now it's like.
It's better.
It's better.
It's crazy stuff. Yeah, the one thing that you were mentioning about the muscle loss, because muscle, if you get too much muscle wasting, then your joints do get unstable.
Yes, they do.
That's 100% true. And that is the one, not the one thing, but one of the bigger things that you need to know about if you're taking semaglutide, Ozempic, or whatever. When you start losing weight, and this is not a semaglutide thing, this is a losing weight thing, you commonly lose muscle.
Yes.
And there's a downside to that. And it's been shown pretty clearly that people on semaglutide will start to have muscle loss. However, it is very, very easy to counteract that. There's been a lot of studies on, how do you stop that from happening? Just simple resistance training will do it. Like, you don't have to like go into the gym and bust out like, 225.
I do like 5 pounds.
Yeah, that's
8
plenty.
pounds.
Yeah, that's plenty. That's all you need.
And I've started, I don't know, this is social media, by the way, at its finest. But I started taking creatine, like gummies,
yeah. Dude, I used to
help bring water into my muscles.
I used to take creatine I would just spoon it into my mouth.
Really?
Yeah. Well, back when I used to work out and stuff.
Yeah.
Were we talking about working out? Oh, no, that was the last segment.
Yeah.
Where I used to work out a lot and do weights. Yeah, I'd take creatine all the time. Yeah, I mean, that's been hot forever. I remember back in the day, in the 90s.
But I'm not trying to like bulk up.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
there's
make
a lot of
sure
people
that my muscles, because I did notice that when I came off doing the shot before, when I went to work out again and lift, my muscles hurt so bad.
Yeah, you
like
felt
I
weak.
could not do. It was like
Yeah,
every
you
single
lost
time.
muscle. Yeah,
And
totally.
it was stuff that I never had any problems with before. So
That all checks out.
okay.
That all checks out.